Like many rappers, Megan Thee Stallion is no stranger to controversy. Now, ever since this Texas MC first burst onto the scene with her big personality and impressive freestyle skills, well, she's captured the world's attention. Now, on the brighter side of fame, this has resulted in a career drenched in accolades, including 6 BET Awards, 2 MTV Video Music Awards, and the fact that in 2020, well, she became only the second female rapper to win Best New Artist at the Grammys after Lauryn Hill, who did that like 20 years ago. Hell, Time magazine even went so far as to name Megan as one of the 100 most influential people in the world that very same year. But when you're as unfiltered as Megan Thee Stallion is, well, you often make headlines for other reasons as well, which means that on the dark side of fame, well, Megan has had to contend with a series of controversies, which include the unearthing of old homophobic tweets, then there was the release of some very divisive music, and of course, the violent conclusion to her friendship / relationship / whatever the hell it was that was going on with her and Tory Lanez.
So, since y'all hoes so worried about it, yes, this Tory shot me.
Now, how has Megan managed to overcome these disputes and maintain her place on top of the hip-hop mountain? Well, stay tuned as we plunge into our latest episode of The Dark Side of Fame. My God, I haven't done one of these in a minute. They are drama-filled. It's like hot girl summer, but with drama. Anyway, here we go. Now, you can definitely add Megan Thee Stallion's name to a long list of hip-hop stars and celebrities that have seen old tweets come back to bite them in the ass. And, well, it happened to her just as she was getting set to blow. Back in 2018, not long after the release of her EP, Make It Hot, well, online users began digging into this star's past on the internet, and they uncovered some troubling tweets from 2011 to 2012, in which Megan was spouting off at someone who had made her mad by using homophobic slurs. Now, these tweets were reportedly written around the time that Megan was 17, and she would have to apologize for them not once, but twice. Now, first was the summer of 2018, which is when Megan made it clear that she had grown a lot in a short amount of time and no longer judged anyone by their color or sexual preference. Then about a year later, after her name got even bigger as a result of the Tina Show EP, well, the tweets, they would resurface yet again. This time more on the line, well, Megan, she was less calm about everything being dragged into the light, and she told Twitter users that they were sick for bringing these tweets back up. And that she clearly didn't mean any harm when she posted them, like she was only a high schooler when she wrote them, was what she stated. Now, her final words on the subject was instructing everyone on Twitter to stop bringing up her old tweets. And somewhat surprisingly, well, it actually seemed to have worked. If Megan Thee Stallion actually knows how to make Twitter users conform to her will, well, that honestly might be her most impressive talent of all. Twitter's a whole different league. I don't even use it.
You might wonder why anyone that comes to the paradise that is the Maldives would want to visit this place, Trash Island.
No, it couldn't possibly compile a list of all of Megan's biggest controversies without bringing up WAP, could I? Now, this very adult collaboration alongside Cardi B, it shocked damn near everyone when it dropped in the summer of 2020. Now, as it turns out, a large portion of the world just wasn't ready for a song entirely dedicated to a little bedroom slip and slide from the female perspective. Now, as you no doubt expected, a majority of the people up in arms were largely God-fearing Republicans, livid with the blatant sexuality and the titillating nudity of the music video. And well, they took to social media to demand that the song be banned.
For those of you out there who are wondering, what's safe? Where do I show my kids? How do I show? What do I show my kids? That's good, that's noble, that's pure, that's edifying, that's worthy.
So I'm dumb.
Yeah.
But things got stranger when even Snoop Dogg, he called the track out. Now, during an interview with Central Avenue, well, Snoop, he gave his opinion on what Cardi and Megan had done. He stated, "That should be a woman's pride and possession. That's your jewel of the Nile. That's what you should hold on to. That should be a possession that no one gets to know about until they know about it." Now, considering the online response, well, it's not any surprise that Megan had to defend her song a number of times. Now, for instance, during an interview with GQ in 2020, well, she explained that the power in the song comes from women finally taking ownership over their own body. She told them, "Some people just don't know what to do when a woman is in control and taking ownership of her own body. I feel like for a long time, men felt like they owned sex, and now women are saying, hey, this is for me. I want pleasure, this is how I want it or don't want it. Well, regardless of how much Megan might not have wanted to deal with the reception of WAP, well, it still didn't stop more people from complaining. After she and Cardi B took the stage to perform the single at the 2021 Grammys, well, the FCC would receive more than 1,000 complaints in response. But for as big a controversy as WAP would turn into for Megan, well, it's still incredibly hard to argue that it resulted in anything more than a triumphant success. I mean, the track, it went sextuple platinum. Which is kind of ironic, but still, good for them. But the one controversy in Megan's career that really doesn't have much of a bright side, well, it's what happened between her and Tory Lanez. Oh, I read somewhere that he said dance. Like, come on. Now, without a doubt, one of the biggest news stories of 2020 was what went down between Megan Thee Stallion and Tory Lanez. And this was a year in which the world entered a freaking pandemic. I mean, like this story was still even bigger than that for a while. Yet still, well, we just kept seeing tons of headlines that were like this. Anyway, it all went down on July 12th after a night of COVID-defying party hopping. And Megan and a friend, well, they were in a car with the Canadian rapper Tory Lanez, who Megan, well, she was rumored to be dating at the time. That night, Tory would be arrested for carrying a concealed weapon after Megan injured her foot on what was originally reported to be broken glass from the car. But that was eventually revealed to be an aggravated attack by Tory with his handgun. As we got further and further away from the date of the attack, more and more evidence would come to light. Now, prosecutors at Tory's eventual trial, they would claim that Tory was highly intoxicated at the time of the attack, and he shouted at Megan, "Dance," before firing his weapon at her feet. Now, this is something that Tory would completely dispute. So I know I'm laughing about it because apparently it never happened. It's just like something out of a movie. I think that's where the line comes from. It was also revealed by an LAPD detective that during the trial that immediately followed the attack, well, Tory apologized profusely and begged Megan not to tell anyone what had happened, as like he was on probation, he didn't need this drama. Now, for his own part, while Tory has always denied shooting Megan, he abandoned all social media for a good long while after what had happened, before reappearing with an album called Daystar, in which he dissed Megan in a number of different songs. Now, Tory was ultimately charged with felony counts of assault with a semi-automatic firearm, personal use of a firearm, and carrying a loaded, unregistered firearm in a vehicle. Now, if convicted, he could serve up to 23 years in prison, but his trial, it has been pushed back repeatedly, and the next date is set for April 5th, 2022. Now, in the meantime, Tory was hit with a restraining order, which would forbid him from coming 100 yards from Megan at any time. That's a breakup that went bad, for real. What I heard through like the gossip mill was that he was trying to get with Kylie Jenner, and that got her real upset. And it was just like a drunken fight. Now, when something this dramatic happens to someone, well, there's bound to be a fallout, and it was no different for Megan. Now, what happened between her and Tory, it would shatter a few more relationships in her life along the way. Now, to start, there's Megan's former best friend, Kelsey Nicole. Now, Kelsey was reportedly the other woman in the car with Megan and Tory when things went down, and in the 2020 track Shots Fired, well, Megan would allege that Kelsey was paid off by Tory's people the night of the shooting. Well, Nicole wasn't about to let this go. Now, she hit back at her former friend with a diss track of her own called Bussin' Back. Now, the cover art of which it includes several bullet holes featured prominently in glass. Gee, I wonder what she was trying to say with that. Then there's DaBaby. Now, Megan and they once collaborated on the track Nasty just prior to what went down in the summer of 2020. Now, nearly a year after, well, Megan, she was shot by Tory, and DaBaby, he not only featured Tory on one of his songs, he also retweeted a post that made light of the original incident. DaBaby would later say that the retweet was an accident, but Megan hit back by tweeting a response that support in private and public are two very different things. 2021 would continue to see the breakdown of their friendship when Megan unfollowed DaBaby on social media and then walked off stage during what was supposed to be a performance of I Did It with Baby and DJ Khaled. Small world, DaBaby followed me on Instagram. He didn't unfollow me, I got my account deleted. Just saying. This is a small little world. Now, later that summer, DaBaby, he would once more bring Tory Lanez out, this time on stage at Rolling Loud, just moments after Megan herself had finished performing. But DaBaby, he didn't stop there. He then followed that up with an atrocious homophobic rant. Now, when Megan was asked to comment on the acceptance of the LGBTQ community and hip-hop in the wake of what DaBaby had said, well, she made it clear that in no way does she side with her former associate. She told People, "Representation is important, and it is really crucial for us all to have compassion and acceptance of every human. I'm glad they didn't find them tweets over at People. In a sense, we've really come full circle, haven't we? See what I did there? I mean, we started this episode with Megan being called out for unacceptable remarks to people who were different from her, and now here she is defending those same people from horrendous misconceptions. My God, she's got a fantastic PR team. Now, some of you will probably laugh and shake your head thinking that Megan's growth is manufactured and definitely not genuine, like I just referenced. But I do choose to believe that people, they can learn from their mistakes. Now, Megan Thee Stallion, she isn't perfect like all of us. She's made mistakes, but also like many of us, well, she's been a victim as well. Now, the question moving forward for her will be to determine once and for all what side of fame she really falls on, the light side or the dark side. It's like Star Wars, and it's up to her to decide. That'll bring us to the end of the latest episode of The Dark Side of Fame. If you enjoyed this video, we have a playlist of all the videos we've made in this series, so be sure to check that out. There's a whole bunch in there, and let us know who to feature next. I'll see you in another video. My name is Michael McCrudden. Boom! Dance, Michael!